That's for you. She said once your career's over, my career's
That's for you.
That ain't happening. Never.
It's not in the stars.
No. Would you coach me one day?
Would I coach you one day?
Yeah.
I would love
Hot
to.
take.
I would love to.
Would you be our coach?
I wouldn't be
Would you
your
coach the
coach.
WNBA?
I would love to.
T. Like,
Yeah. I would so love to work with you.
that'd be great. I love that too.
And I love to work with Kennedy Carter.
So Chicago Sky.
And then we get a lot of free agents. Anyway, go ahead.
The Chicago Sky fired former coach Teresa Weatherspoon, and the response that I'm seeing from a lot of Chicago Sky and WNBA fans online has been one of surprise, a lot of shock. I mean, there's some anger and disappointment in there from Sky fans, but for the most part, a lot of surprise. People didn't see it coming. Me, I'm surprised that so many people are surprised because to me, this was a no-brainer. And I'm never calling for anybody's job. Well, I won't say never, but I wasn't calling for her to be fired and I wasn't rooting for her to be fired, but the writing was on the wall. So many instances this season, I've made videos about most of them. We could start with the Kennedy Carter, Caitlin Clark incident and the way that, the sideline actions, the way it was applauded, the way she stood up for Kennedy Carter in the post-game series. I mean, what she was supposed to do, but that's what she said in the post-game press conference. And right away, I came out and I said, okay, that's how you guys feel about it, but that logo that you're sitting in front of it, how do they feel? And then the very next day, Teresa Weatherspoon released a statement. We know the Chicago Sky wrote that statement for her that was completely contradictory to everything that she said the night before. That to me was the first sign that her vision for the team and the front office's vision for the team were not aligned. And then the Angel Reese double streak. I mean, it started out well and good enough, but it got a little gimmicky there towards the end. All right, they were pulling some things, and I said then, when you're pulling these things and possibly throwing a game, right? But even if you're not throwing the game, you're manipulating the game in a way that benefits one player. You risk losing the rest of the team, and we kind of saw that towards the end of the streak. Players were over it. Whatever it was that lost Mabry, I won't speculate, but we saw that slow boiling through her demeanor, Mabry's demeanor in post-game conferences and things like that. Whatever it was that caused her to want out, because that's a problem that they were trying to fix from previous seasons, star players wanting out. So here's a continuation of a problem that we bring you in to fix. There was also her not prioritizing or utilizing Kamilla Cardoso the correct way all season. I made a video about that, Free Cardoso, earlier in the season, which I had to pull down because I used a clip where Angel Reese had put Kamilla Cardoso's hair, and NCAA wasn't having that. But we saw some of that in that Aces game that they lost on the Asia Wilson buzzer beater. Rather it's X's and O's, or rather it's prioritizing one player and trying to put them in a position to be the hero while not prioritizing the other one. It was a bad call. Most people will say, okay, Kamilla Cardoso is the tallest player. That's who you have on the inbound. But she had 5 blocks on Asia Wilson. And Angel Reese is not a shot blocker. She's not a rim protector. She is a good pass deflector. And I'm in no way saying that making one bad call is a fireable offense. I'm just using that as an example of either not having a good grasp on the X and O's and the flow of the game, or not putting your players in the best position to succeed. Because like I said, Kamilla Cardoso had 5 blocks in Asia Wilson, and that little illegal screen that Kelsey Plum did would have been a lot harder to pull off without getting called for it on Kamilla Cardoso. There was also the post-game press conference with Lindsey Allen and Kamilla Cardoso, where you could hear fighting or whatever going on in the back. That was weird. So now we're looking at just, culture and the environment that's being set. It was the way they ended the season. I called that out back when the Fever were basically neck and neck with the Chicago Sky. I pretty much called the Chicago Sky out of the playoff race. The Atlanta Dream were 2.5 games behind at that point. The Fever hadn't even passed the Mercury, and I had already called the Sky done because I could tell they let go of the rope. And then if you watch the games leading up to the end of the season, everything that I said played out. They were getting blown out. You looked at the Dallas Wings, you looked at the LA Sparks, they were playing competitively all the way to the end. The Sky, not so much. And I understand that she had a bad hand as far as health is concerned. I know that one of her lead assistant coaches, left mid-season. So I'm not saying that everything was in her favor at all. I'm just saying I could see the writing on the wall. And by the time we made it to the exit interviews, that told me everything I needed to know. When I heard Angel Reese saying that she was too nice, which correlates with what I said earlier in the season about her acting like one of the players still, that was damning. When I saw the other players, Harrison, Allen, when I saw their exit interviews, that was damning. When I saw her own, Teresa Weatherspoon's own exit interview, I mean, they were asking her questions about how she planned on coming in next season and improving. very general, generic answers. It was, yo, we're going to look at everything: practice, film, shoot around. None of the answers that she gave during the exit interview would have inspired me to want to give her the job if she didn't already have it. Is basically what I'm trying to say. All right. Plus, there's been talk all season about the WNBA and how they seemingly were not ready for this influx of popularity. A lot of teams were, a lot of teams weren't. Everybody handled it differently, but the Chicago Sky, having two of the most popular rookies in this class, should have definitely been one of the teams that was ready, and clearly they weren't. Clearly they were not ready to put on the show for the new fans. Or a lot of fans didn't like the show that they did put out there, so that's not what they want their franchise to be moving forward. I could feel that all season. I wouldn't have wanted my franchise to look like that. Did you see that second game against the Fever? They were body checking her. It was Barbie night, right? Caitlin Clark was the only one out there on the floor signing shirts afterwards. It was an embarrassment for the franchise, in front of Shaq at that. And then for them to end the season the way that they did, nah, something had to change. Kamilla Cardoso's face all season. Have you seen her? Looking like help me. Have you noticed that you haven't heard anything from Kamilla Cardoso regarding Weatherspoon's firing? Or at least I haven't. Let me know in the comments if you have. Only thing I heard was something from her agent saying, hey y'all, peace. We're headed to China and this is what we're working on. We're out of here. I haven't heard one peep from her in regards to Teresa Weatherspoon. So who knows? I did hear something from Reese.
I'm heartbroken. I'm literally lost for words knowing what this woman meant to me at such a pivotal point in my life. She was the only person that believed in me, the one that trusted me. Many don't even know what it's like to be a black woman in sports when nobody believes in you. You had a tough job, all the crazy circumstances that we went through this year, and when your back was against the wall, you always believed. I came to Chicago because of you. You were an unsung hero in my life. We built a relationship in a short amount of time that will last forever. I'll never question God, why he brings people in my life and takes them away from me in a capacity that I need them, but I've always believed everyone is in your life for a reason and a season. You were the best reason and season. You didn't deserve this, but I can't thank you enough.
I love you, Teaspoon. All right, the same person who wrote that tweet is the same person that I showed at the beginning of the show on her podcast. You know, basically looking for another coach. So I don't know. Make it make sense to me. All I know is that the writing was on the wall. I wasn't shocked. Doesn't seem as if Angel Reese was too shocked, despite what her tweet said. Seems as if she was already on the market for a new coach. So I don't know, you guys. To me, this one was a no-brainer. I do hope that Teresa Weatherspoon lands at a good place for her. I know that she has a lot to offer the game still, maybe in a different capacity, maybe as a head coach again in the future, but she wasn't ready for this job. And I was arguing with people online, you know, I don't care what you did in the WNBA before, what you did in any sport before. There's only 12 head coaches, and in this league, they make more than double what the highest paid players make. So, yeah, nobody's owed a position. Nobody's owed extra years to figure it out. Like, it's 12 positions to be a WNBA head coach. It's a very privileged position. You need to come ready. Look, this was a groundbreaking season for the WNBA, and I'm going to just go ahead and say it. The Chicago Sky were an embarrassment. So there's no way at all, in one of their biggest markets, one of their most important teams in the league, they were going to bring that back in next season. Well, something has to change dramatically. They weren't going to come back in the same way that this season played out. So to me, this was a no-brainer. Let me know in the comments if you agree or if you're one of those people that were shocked and surprised and you think that they made a mistake. Also, let me know if you have any good candidates for a new coach. Would it be Swoops? We already know her coaching history, so I would probably look elsewhere, but you let me know. I'll catch you guys on the next video. Till then.